Hello everyone. I've come to film myself today to bring you up to date to what's been going on lately. 2 weeks ago I went back to Caldey Island to show you the new evidence that I have received about the historic abuse on the island. When I got there, I went over to where the cliffs were, but couldn't access to the caves because the tide was in. But I did a bit of filming saying how horrible it was for children to be dragged off the beach, along the beach to the caves and sexually abused and raped. It was a nightmare for them. Damp, horrible, dark, probably only lit by candlelight. It must have been horrendous. Mine was in the ruins, but it must have seemed so bad. Then I did a bit of filming up in the Abbey ruins. I know that place brings me bad, horrible memories, but I needed to prove that in its day, the Abbey had prison boys over from the local magistrates to keep the monks warm during the winter. What's been going on there? This abuse has been going on for decades and decades and decades. It's written about. But that's not the real horror. I decided then to go up to Caldey Island school, primary school, and it was preschool there as well. And I got a living survivor witness who approached me and said that children as young as 3 were abused, sexually abused and raped up to the age of 11. They were living in fear there. Where was the safeguarding in the school? Puh. This is disgusting. These children on the island were abused, probably during the winters when they didn't have access to children coming on the island and staying. I cannot believe that when these witnesses went to the police, they were totally ignored, sent away. The police were not interested. And this went on into the 80s, 90s. The school closed in 2000, but it had been on the island, different places, but it's been there for over 100 years. What's wrong with these people? I have the evidence from the abbot of that time, writing to the parents of this victim, witness, saying that Father Thaddeus had become very manipulative towards children, and they tried to keep him in, but they couldn't stop him. He was out day and night doing horrible things to children. He was not alone doing it. Not what I saw, he was not alone. I saw men coming on the island in boats. It was industrial abuse I saw. Taking children everywhere. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. It was in plain sight, but nobody was worried about that. I can't understand why the authorities have never done anything to look into this or safeguard children. I have a letter here also, a copy, from a famous local author, historian, and he wrote a letter to the abbot of that time and stated that, this is 2010, stated that he was concerned about the paedophile that was coming to light in the Catholic Church, and he was worried about the Cistercians. So obviously he knew what was going on. And this was years before the first victim came out about it. We also have a letter here saying, from an abbot, hoping that the person will be wearing the same bikini next year. And this was dated 1989. It just shows how much abuse was on that island. And another letter to the victim from Papa today's basically saying that he wishes to hold loads more children. Children are waiting for him. This is a sick man, but that sick didn't stop there. This is proof, more proof that we need a public inquiry. We need the Assembly, the Welsh Assembly, to actually get up and do something about this. How many children? Thousands. There's no doubt in my mind there's thousands. They need to do a proper investigation. They need to find out the failures of social services, Court of Protection, Pembrokeshire Council, the police. They need to get all this information and make it a public inquiry. Because there's no safeguarding on Caldey today. The police have a retired police officer who's become a monk on Caldey Island. That's not good enough. That's having him in their pocket. We want an independent safeguarding team placed on Caldey Island during the holidays, if not full-time. Because it seems that this was not just a summer nightmare, it was all year round. I just want to say another thing. I know a man who went to the same parish as me, same age as me. He went to Caldey around the same time I did. Father Thaddeus woke him up one night and tried to drag him away, but he made such a fuss that he took the timid lad in the next bed. And he went to the police after seeing my programme from Byd Bedwar and BBC Wales and made a statement, and he's never heard back from the police. And he doesn't know whether the police are searching for this lad. It is a total failure of the police. That's why we need to push hard for a public inquiry. I ask people now, doesn't matter where you are in the UK, write to your local MP to put pressure on the Welsh Assembly. Keep the pressure on. Get them to email the police, contact the police, ask them why isn't there an investigation. Because when I went on the BBC programme before Christmas last year, they told the BBC that they were reopening the investigation. I waited 3 months, so I contacted them. And I emailed back from CID officer Joe Hartle saying there is no investigation and there probably won't be. And that's what I'm dealing with. It's got to be sorted. Now, if you stay on, there's a few minutes of film, and then, share, please. And the only way we're going to get the truth and proper safeguarding is through you, the public, coming together. Next year, I hope to bring all the victims together, and there's 30 odd now, and we will pursue the Welsh Assembly, the police, the authorities. And that's the only way I think we're going to get what we need on Caldey Island. Please watch the film. Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm on a train going down to Caldey and hopefully get a boat across to Caldey Island. My emotions are high, but I need to go there to show you how horrible the place was towards our children. I have no evidence to back this up. See you in bye. Well, hi, I've landed on the island, yes, so I'm now going to go around the island and do some filming. I just want to show you where the children were taken to the caves from the beach. It was horrible, dark, stinking caves, only lit by a candlelight. Children abused in a horrible way, in plain sight sometimes. It is horrible. There was no safeguarding, nobody cared. Exactly the same when I was here. It's a long beach, Prairie Beach. Hundreds of children taken whenever anybody wants to take them. And that could be happening today, and that's why we need proper independent safeguarding. The dark cells of the monks where prison boys sent by local magistrates were sent here to keep the monks warm during the winter. It's a horrible, horrible place. I'll also show you once that big door shut and closed, there is no escape for children. The outside of the Abbey ruins, and there we have the chocolate factory, where the chocolate was used to bribe the children to the places they were taken to be abused. This is Caldey Island's old school, closed down in 2000. But I'll chat to you about this later on, as there's people about. This is the guest house in the woods, where they still only allow men and boys to stay. That's what they advertise. Not father and son, men and boys in today's age. I bought this candle and lit it here on Caldey Island to remember the children that were abused on this island and off this island because of Caldey Island, and I fought with them and hope they find some way to get help for their lives like I did. Bless them.